everyone, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today we're going to be giving you 7 key tips for staying fit and well during COVID-19. And this presentation is brought to you by Brianna Lee, who is the Coordinator of Fitness and Wellness for the Department of University Recreation. And this is all part of the MHA program. The Mental Health Ambassadors program is a student peer-to-peer mental health promotion program. It was originally developed as an Honors College Faculty Fellows Initiative by Dr. Robin Lanzi, professor in the Department of Health Behavior in the School of Public Health, with the Honors College student Juhi and Student Counseling Services. So here's Brianna Lee and her 7 key tips for staying fit and well during COVID-19.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Again, my name is Brianna. I'm the Coordinator of Fitness and Wellness at University Recreation. So I'm very excited to be able to kind of share some of these tips with you. And we named out 7 key tips, but there are so many because it just depends on you and your person and kind of how COVID has affected you. But I'll start with 7 main ones, and then feel free to kind of jump in, ask some questions as we go along. As I go through each tip, if you want to use the chat feature to kind of ask some questions or talk about how it relates to you, I have it on the side so I can see that. And if you're watching this at a later time, definitely feel free to reach out. My contact information will, I'm assuming, be made available, or you can reach out to the MHA group as well. So I guess we can go ahead and get started with the 7 tips. Tip number 1, start small. So we're talking about how to stay fit and well during this COVID-19 timeframe. And everyone has in their head that, you know, if you want to be fit and well, you need to be working out 5-6 times a week for an hour each time. You got to have this equipment that no one has in their house. You got to go outside, but it's pouring. So the biggest thing is to remember that it doesn't have to be that extravagant. The biggest thing is just to move. So start small, whether that means just a walk during the middle of the day. Today is National Walk at Lunch Day, in case you didn't know. So I took my dog on a 15-minute walk earlier. That's movement. That counts. Choose stairs when you have the opportunity to. I know my apartment complex has an option where I can kind of walk up a little hill, and then an option where I can go up all these stairs. And not gonna lie, sometimes I choose the little hill instead, but you know, make that choice, choose the stairs, make life a little harder in the fact that it makes it a little bit more active. Chair and couch exercises. So a lot of students are still taking online classes or about to transition to summer classes. A lot of faculty and staff are working from home. There are so many exercises you can do just sitting in your chair. I can just give you like 2 quick ones real quick. So you have your chair, you can just do chair stands, up and down, chair stand. Too easy, do one leg, up, down with one leg. Ab exercises, you can't really see me too well, but you move to the edge of your chair, lean back, and you can just pick the legs up, and that's going to work the lower abs there if you're just not resting on the back. So there's so many different things you can do without even leaving your spot. Sorry, I have my dog stuff all over the floor here. And so it's just starting small, just doing something, anything that counts as a movement. The biggest thing is just allowing yourself to move in whatever way works best for you. So that is tip 1. Again, if anyone has any feedback or any questions based on these tips, just continue to add them to the chat. I'll be monitoring it as I move forward, but if not, then we'll move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to set a routine. So this one's a big one for me. You probably know whether you're a routine person or not, but most people can benefit from some sort of a routine. And when it comes to staying fit and well and movement, routine is important because unfortunately it is one of the first things that kind of gets pushed aside when other things come into play. Because you're like, okay, well that was for me, so let me go do this thing for someone else. But it shouldn't be that way. You should be able to focus on some things that are for you, and movement is for you. So set a routine, put it in your schedule. I was working out like at 5:30 in the morning when I was going to have to be downtown by 8 a.m. And I'll be honest, when we switched to working from home, I did not get up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore. I was like, heck no. Uh, but it took me about a week or two of working out at like 9 o'clock at night to be like, this isn't working. Um, so I adjusted my routine. Some I had to, but I went back to the morning workouts. Not a morning person, but I do not feel like working out after a full day of work, so I do morning workouts. So now I work out at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I can shower and be ready for work by 8. But you just pick a time that works best for you and put it in your schedule. Um, I recommend talking to family and roommates, anyone that you share a household with, to let them know, like, hey, this is going to be my exercise movement time, whether that means you're doing a group fitness class or your own workout, you're going on a walk. It can be pretty much anything, but that is your move time. So communicating with those around you to let them know, hey, like this is my move time. If you can help me with that, allow me to have like this 30 to 60 minutes of space. I'm assuming for the most part, as long as you live with decent people, they'll allow you that time and space, or at least be willing to help monitor your space while you go outside or things of that nature. So communication is key. The hardest part is when you don't communicate and you're in the middle of working out and they have friends coming over. They shouldn't, but if they do, friends coming over just kind of all over the place and things like that. And then you're like, okay, this isn't really working for me. But if you communicate ahead of time, you can try to set that space. Um, like I said, biggest thing is just choose a day and time. Even if you don't move 7 days a week, I usually try to do something small just so I have it in my schedule and it stays in my routine. So I personally work out like 6 or 7 days a week, but that's because of the I compete in bodybuilding, so I have to for those things. But if you're working out 3 times a week, great. The other 4 days of the week, keep that same time frame and just go on a little walk. Um, Take that moment just to meditate, um, journal, do something for yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be an exercise, but it's really good to keep that you and move time in your schedule so that way it's a habit, it becomes consistent, and you're able to kind of stick to that. All right, so tip number 3, we have set a goal. This is one of my favorite ones because I love doing full lectures on how to set goals appropriately. Now, when I say set a goal, a lot of people, when it comes to fitness and wellness, automatically assume a performance-related goal. So performance-related goal would be, I want to run an 8-minute mile, or I want to be able to squat 150 pounds. They think performance automatically, but it doesn't have to be a performance-related goal. Um, you can think small and simple and then build from there. So a goal could also be, next week, I want to work out 2 days. So 2 days next week, you complete that. Congrats, you achieved your goal that week. Then you can build from that and say, all right, next week, I want to work out 3 days, at least 30 minutes each time. So now that's still achievable. It's a little bit more than what you just had, but you're building on that. Especially during this COVID-19 time, I highly encourage any goals that you set to be time bound within a smaller time frame. So instead of saying throughout the next 6 months, I'm going to achieve this, think about it week by week or maybe 2 weeks at a time, something a little bit less daunting because things are changing so often. Situations are changing. So this helps you to kind of focus on baby steps, little things, and allows you to hit and achieve goals more regularly too, which provides a little bit of satisfaction in that what you are doing is good for yourself. So like I said, kind of build off of that. I like to recommend goals to be SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Again, if you ever want to really sit down and create goals, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help. But the biggest thing is just making sure that you do set a time frame. So let's go back to that 2 workouts a week. The week is your time bound. Relevant would be whether it pertains to a priority of yours. Is moving a priority to you? Because if it's not, then why are you setting that goal? You're not going to want to achieve it. Measurable is it's the 2 times. So you can measure that. That's the number of times that you are uh, performing that goal. And then specific is what you are doing. So like I said, you can start a little bit more general, like just work out 2 times next week. And then you can start to become a little bit more specific, work out 2 times for 30 minutes. And again, continue to build off of those. And as you're achieving those, you'll kind of realize that they start to get easier and easier because now you're building a habit as well. All right, tip 4, we have try something new. So this is one of my favorites. I'm always trying something new because I get bored real easy. And especially now that we're all just kind of hanging out at home trying to figure out how to move, it's really important to try something new. So I'll talk about utilizing your resources in a minute, but if there's anything you've ever wanted to try, I guarantee you someone is offering it right now for free. There are so many free opportunities out there, so use this chance to try something new. Um, for example, I think I was talking to Robin earlier, and she was mentioning that yoga is still kind of new to her, and she's been doing it during this time. Um, so that's perfect. Think of something that you haven't really been able to experience and enjoy, uh, and try it. For me, for example, with the nature of how I exercise, I lift heavy a lot of days a week, which kind of decreases my flexibility and mobility because I just don't make the time to stretch and don't make the time to do that. So now that I can't lift as heavy because I don't have a squat rack here, I have tried to spend more time actually doing some foam rolling and stretching, and different like transferable skill movements that are going to help me when I get back to my normal routine after all this is over. So working on some core work, which will overall increase like full body strength. Um, and if you're a runner, kind of working on some of the quad and hamstring development and coordination for running. There's lots of different things, which again, University Recreation, we do have certified trainers and instructors that can kind of help depending on what your specific goals are. But try something new. I've seen a lot of people work out with random stuff in their house. I've done push-ups with my dog on my back, teaching her new tricks, and that's kind of fun. And without realizing it, I'm over here doing push-ups with 35 pounds on my back. And I'm like, okay, getting stronger there now because push-ups were not really a strong point for me originally. So it's kind of fun to do some different things. There are so many interesting classes out there. Again, UREC, we're offering over 90 virtual classes a week because we are partnering with other universities. So we have classes coming from all those universities as well. There's like belly dance cardio. I've never tried belly dancing, but why not? Just try it if it sounds fun.
I had a question about
Yeah.
the opportunities that you are offering at the UAREC with other universities. So is this for like UAB, the community, or anybody like family or friends can join, or is it like free?
Yeah. So the classes and the links to the classes are on a interactive PDF on UAB UREC's Instagram and Facebook pages. So you can just click on those and it pulls up this interactive PDF, and you can literally just click on the name of the class at the time that you want to do the class, and it pops up. Most of them are Zoom classes. Some of them are on like Facebook group pages or Instagram pages, but it does have all the information on there. And they are free to anyone who finds the links. So if you have friends that you want to share it with, do a class with you, you can share it with them. If you have family that you want to kind of pull in, it's really for anyone. They're totally free. We just really want to provide as much as possible. And then we also have on our page a link to Les Mills classes if you It depends on what you're looking for. If you want a little bit more variety with a little bit more realism, so people working out in their homes, then you can choose our UREC classes. If you want something a little bit more professional in a studio type of thing, you can go with the Les Mills one. Obviously, we didn't plan to be in this situation, so we don't have professionally pre-planned group fitness classes. All of our instructors are figuring it out in their homes just like we are, which some people might prefer because they've got pets running around too and all kinds of fun stuff. Any other questions regarding that at the moment? All right, cool. Yeah, so just find something that you enjoy, something new that maybe you don't know if you would enjoy. I've been playing a lot of tennis and I have terrible hand-eye coordination, but it's fun. I'm moving. Um, you have to find tennis courts that are open, but see what's out there, try new hiking trails. Birmingham has so many things outdoors, which kind of leads me into my next tip, which is to use your resources. So tip 5 is to use resources, and we've talked about this briefly a little bit already. On anything on our UREC virtual page, we have all those group fitness classes. I personally do workout at home series tips and tricks. I think I've done like 4 episodes so far, where I literally just spend like 10 minutes talking strictly about how to work out if you have a needy pet. Mine runs all over me every time I work out. So I gave some tips and tricks for how to kind of combat that. The most recent one was how to get and stay motivated, which is kind of where these 7 tips began. Continue to reach out to those, watch those if you have anything you want me to delve into specifically. I'm open to suggestions. Like I said, look for free trials. Know that, if you are just kind of in a funk and none of these tips are really going to help you because you just know that you're not in a good place, utilize some of your counseling resources. Reach out to the mental health ambassadors so they can help provide the appropriate resources to you. And then utilize your resources around you too. So all the outdoor parks I already mentioned, the local ones are still open. So use those. I've been trying to go to different ones, explore different areas. I get in a really bad habit of maybe keeping too much of a routine. So I go to the same trail every time, do the same path every time, which is nice sometimes because, you get used to the same like 2-3 miles, but it gets boring. So, try a different path, go off the beaten path and try a couple new things. There's so much in Birmingham. I've tried probably 5 or 6 different trails, and there's still like a ton that I've never even stepped foot on. It's really an amazing location. It's really cool to see what's all out there. Tip number 6, we did touch on this briefly earlier, accountability partner. So talking about how this can be available to friends and family, this can really help you with your movement too. So no one expects you to be motivated to move every single day. Different things are going on. Sometimes you're just tired, you didn't sleep very well, you're stressed because of exams, or just trying to figure out online classes and all the cajillion emails you're all of a sudden getting. So finding an accountability partner is good. And it doesn't have to be consistent unless that's what you need. So for me, I work better on my own, but some days when I just don't have the motivation, I'll call up one of my sisters who live in Tennessee, just say like, hey, do you want to get on a Zoom call with me and do my workout with me this morning? Usually I can have a little bit more efficient of a workout when I'm not like chit-chatting with my sister the whole time, but it's more enjoyable. It's more enjoyable to talk to her. I'm still moving. I'm still getting it done. And she might provide some insight or an exercise she wants to try that, wasn't on my original plan. So yeah, let's throw it in. Let's do it. There's been a couple of group fitness classes I wanted to try, but I don't like trying new things by myself sometimes. So Zoom has this great feature called share screen. So sometimes I'll pull up a group fitness class, call my sister on Zoom, and then share my screen so we're both looking at the group fitness class together. And so we can still chat back and forth and hear each other, and it doesn't interrupt the group fitness class. So it's kind of an interesting thing how how that all works and how technology can work. And again, if you need help with any of that, just, reach out to us and we'll try to help you the best we can. But it's been really cool because if I do a group fitness class with my sister, afterwards I can kind of shut off the group fitness class and be like, oh man, like that was really tough when she did this and when she did that. And she's like, oh, I know, I thought I was going to die halfway through. And it's nice to have that, a little bit of that community piece. So there are those options, even if it's just someone to text you every day, say, hey, did you move today? Just have a friend that that will be there for you and just say like, hey, I really want to move more. It's so easy to sit and just binge watch Netflix, which, I know I've done. So it's nice to have someone to be like, hey, like, did you go on a walk today? Or did you do this or that? I make the excuse for my dog all the time. Like, if I don't want to go on a walk, I'm like, do it for her. It's not for you, it's for her. So then I'll get up and I'll go on a walk because it's not for me. So, but really it is for me. So you've got to do what you can for yourself. My last and final tip is to treat yourself with grace. Know that during this time, things are difficult. Everyone's situation is different. I know some people who have 6 young kids running around their house who are not in school, and they're trying to figure out how to just take care of the kids and teach them and feed them and everything without even worrying about any other type of movement. So it's okay if you're not where you want to be, if you're not where you feel like you should be. There is no real timeline on when you should hit a certain mark. That's all internal and in our heads, really. So you make your own goals, you make your own decisions on where you want to be. Reach out to resources. It's okay if you're feeling some feelings that are not as positive, anxiety, depression, overeating, those are all real things. So understand that it's okay if you are experiencing those things. Just know that you have the opportunity to reach out to the resources that can help you and try to pinpoint some of the causes of those feelings, or to at least talk them out. Know that during this process, it's going to be a little bit of back and forth. It's really hard to just continue to move forward when you're experiencing all these different emotions. Maybe your work life took a complete 180, or maybe you're not in work anymore. So many different things are happening for everyone, and it's okay to take some steps backward, to take more steps forward. You just have to be okay with doing the best you can. We don't have total control, so understand that and be okay with that. And again, just reach out to your resources, have grace with yourself. We want to make sure that you're trying to help yourself to get to okay, but it's okay if you're not there right now. And those are my 7 tips. So if you have any questions or feedback or responses on anything I have talked about, I'm more than happy to go into some depth, or feel free to reach out to me at a later point as well.
Thank you, Brianna, for all these tips. I just wanted to highlight specifically your last tip about giving yourself grace. I think that's a really important tip because I know prior to like the pandemic, I had these SMART goals. Like I went to the gym, 3 times a week. I had my accountability partners and things like that. But ever since I've been home, like I haven't really had that drive to do that, which is fine. But definitely your tips are going to be very helpful to get me back into like my mindset of like having a goal and like achieving it in terms of being active and stuff. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course. And like I mentioned with goals, you said you had goals before the pandemic hit. Uh, so just because you had certain goals beforehand doesn't mean you have to stick to those goals. You can always readjust and redefine goals to what fits your current situation. So like I said, now we might want to stick to smaller, shorter term goals and little things that we can achieve to grow off of. And that's going to kind of help you to get back to where you want to be. All right. Yeah, of course. If anyone else has any questions or anything they want to say, I'll hang out for a little bit longer, but I really appreciate you guys coming to listen.